how the rest of the Pakistani system is dealing with some of these challenges. Let me start by saying that the Commonwealth, as you all know, is a group of 56 countries representing 2.5 billion people. The largest of them has a population of just over 1.2 billion, and the smallest has a population of around 10,000 people. And the impact of climate change on all of them is equally challenging. For some, it's an existential problem because, as you know, the Pacific in particular is experiencing serious challenges that has disrupted life as they know it. Now, I had the opportunity to participate yesterday in a discussion that highlighted some of these challenges, but in particular focused on the impact of climate change on trade. And my observation on that is that, and I think the recent experience in Pakistan and how disruptive climate change related natural disasters can be on trade is a very good example. Not only does it disrupt life, but it also disrupts supply chains, it disrupts infrastructure, and therefore undermines the ability of trade to happen. Now, it is not just in Pakistan. I think we've recently been following what is happening in Panama, for example, where the Panama Canal, which, as you know, carries or facilitates around 6% of global trade, is struggling or facing challenges because of drought. On average, 1,000 ships go through the canal on a monthly basis, carrying about 400 million tons of goods. Now, because of drought, that process or the ability for ships to transit the canal has been seriously impacted. And now ships are facing about 6 to 8 day transit delays. That has an impact on the rest of the global trading system because of disruptions in that supply chain. But on the other hand, also, there are opportunities. From a trade perspective, there are opportunities which, in my view, Pakistan is in a very unique position to also exploit and identify areas where it can be competitive in taking advantage of some of these challenges. If you look, for example, the increasing demand for technologies that support energy transition. We've seen a big increase in investment flows in sectors which provide these technologies, and I believe that Pakistan, being ahead of the curve compared to some of the developing countries that are in the Commonwealth in particular, is in a very unique position to be able to take advantage of that. Of course, there are also adjustment costs that will have to be taken into account, and there are partners like the Commonwealth Secretariat that are ready and willing to be able to provide support to Pakistan to make these adjustments. And one area which I would like to highlight, where we have been discussing with the Pakistani authorities now on how the Commonwealth can provide support, is in helping Pakistan access climate finance. Because we know it's an issue that has been on the agenda for the last, I don't know how many COPs, and it will continue to be on the agenda, that there are resources that have been made available for developing countries for adjustment, adaptation and all that, but accessing those resources has almost proved impossible. So the numbers look good, billions of dollars have been pledged, but to actually access that has not been that easy. So what we have done as a Commonwealth is to provide technical assistance, where we provide advisors that sit in the ministries of finance, and their job is to craft proposals, to mobilize programs that access those resources. And we've had success in the countries that we've been active in. We recently were in Fiji, where we have, over the last 2 years, been able to raise over $100 million in climate finance, which will have an impact, of course, in their ability also to deal and address some of these challenges. And this is the support that we also will bring to Pakistan, to say, we'll give you this technical expertise, pay for it, and work on helping Pakistan increase its access to these resources, because without access to these resources, no government, particularly a developing country like Pakistan, will be able to achieve this on its own. And this is by way of saying that we approach, and this is not just to Pakistan, but also to STDPI in particular, that partnerships are very important to countries in dealing with climate change and its impact. Without those partnerships, countries are not going to be able to cope. And we see our partnership, not just with the Pakistani government, but also with entities like SDPI, as being very critical in being able to continue to provide that support, and not only within the context of Pakistan, but also within the broader Commonwealth context. How can we facilitate countries in the Commonwealth to exchange experiences, to compare and be able to see how others are dealing with the same challenges which they are faced with? And if we can be able to facilitate that networking and ensure that the experiences are shared by within the Commonwealth network, then we would have gone far in terms of being able to build mobilizing resources that would help countries to deal with this. So we see this as a very important partnership and a very important relationship, and we look forward to making sure that we continue to work with Pakistan on this journey, but also to facilitate Pakistan to be able to showcase and share some of these experiences with other countries that are much more vulnerable, that are also struggling with some of this. Of course, there's also, I think, an important point to make in that from a regional development perspective, there's also, I think, a case to be made that if you look at South Asia today, you have around Pakistan other Commonwealth countries. You've got Bangladesh, you've got Bhutan, and others that no, Bhutan is not in the Commonwealth, but you've got Bangladesh, Maldives, India that are in the Commonwealth. How do we facilitate work from a regional perspective? Because some of these challenges are not national. We need regional efforts, we need global efforts. And if we can be able to do that, then I think we'll begin to see progress in helping countries. Now, one particular point that I think, as we discuss policies, as we engage with governments, is to remember that governments don't trade. It's the private sector that trades. Now, if we are going to be able to provide support and help private sector innovate and help private sector remain competitive, we have to create a level playing field. And that is where we come in as partners of Pakistan to say, how do we continue to provide support to SMEs in particular? Because once you have a dynamic SME industry that is able to innovate, then we continue to build resilience in the economy, and I think that is where our efforts should be focused. We should continue to create products or innovations that support small farmers, for example. If next year there are floods, can we provide them with insurance that will help them recover, crop insurance for small farmers, for example? Now, all those innovations collectively, I think, will continue to strengthen and build resilience, and that is where I think our partnership will be able to be strong. So with these few remarks, once again, thank you very much for having us, and we look forward to the rest of this.